Peace and blessings, everybody. This is David K. Jones, and welcome to the Publisher's Desk, powered by Black Westchester Magazine and blackwestchester.com. And today, we have a guest here, and we're talking about how Black radio, real Black radio, is on the rise in Westchester County and New York State. And I got a brother that has been doing his thing. His name is Isaiah Carter, and Isaiah Carter is a podcast host. He's a writer. He's a political commentator. He has written and contributed to platforms like Medium, Substack, and Salon. He's part of an independent political media podcast space. He's the co-host of Apostate Radio, and it's a podcast that comes on every Sunday at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Rumble. And let's welcome my brother, Isaiah Carter. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that warm welcome. It is a pleasure to be on here with you. I have heard much about you, and let's get this started, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. But for the Black Westchester listeners, you know, you started Apostate Radio. What was the purpose behind you starting that, an independent radio station and discussing the issues that you discuss?
Oh boy. So I started Apostate Radio with my guy Nino Chavez back last year, back in February of last year. And we had done some like live shows prior to that. And we wanted to, eventually what we were trying to do was we wanted to create a show where people who were once Democrats, who were, or leftists or something like that, we wanted to create a space for people who broke away from all of that, right? Like who wanted who wanted to hear and participate in something other than what they were getting, okay, or what they were used to. Nino and I are both former. Like I said, we're both former Democrats. I voted in since about 2008. My voter history from 2008 to 2024. My voting history was like straight Democrat. I voted a straight Democrat ticket.
Right.
I voted for Obama twice, voted for Hillary, voted for Biden in 2020. Did not vote. I voted for Trump in 2024. Best decision I ever made. Best decision I've made in
my boy.
Listen. Listen, we could talk about that too, but but suffice it to say for now, the Democrats did something that I considered a cardinal sin. I said, listen, you can call him a liar, right? You could call Trump a liar. Right. You could say this. You could say Trump is a racist. And this. You can call him a liar. But here's what here's what I cannot forgive. Do not make a truth teller out of him. Because here's the thing. When you make a truth teller out of him, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to Streisand him. I'm sure you've heard of the Streisand effect. Mm-hmm. Like, all you're going to do is you're going to make people ask the question, well, what else was he telling the truth about? And that is exactly what happened with me. And a lot of Black folk in my own personal circles were not too happy with that. And so we called the show Apostate Radio, and that was that was like the whole thing. We wanted to be a space for folks who had come out of that. And then I get reposted by Elon Musk. This happened the first time. The first time. So after Doge had gone through and were exposing like all of the things that were going on within our government. All of this, fraudulent spending, all of this ridiculousness, money getting sent to, to the third world for, trans inclusive basket weaving in South Africa.
Exactly.
Where we're getting our tax dollars are sent to these various tax havens all over the world, right? Because let's be very clear, this was money laundering that was taking place,
right?
And the thieving, just the theft involved in this, the entitlement that people had to our tax money. Again, this is our tax dollars. These are our tax dollars, and the entitlement with which they conducted themselves, I couldn't take it. So I made a video that was 3 minutes and 14 seconds long, just going off, going off on these theater kids, these children of affluent parents, the gentrifiers and all of this. It made me angry, and Elon Musk retweeted it, and 33 million people saw me go off on the Democrat Party. Right before our first show. That was right before our first show as Apostate Radio.
Woo! That was a blessing, man.
It was.
For radio, for people that not are in their feelings and in their emotions.
Yes, sir.
That was a blessing, right? Because we're dealing with radio, and when I get beat up all the time, because I'm a policy person. I don't care if it comes from Democrats or Republicans. How does these policies affect Black America? Exactly. If they affect them positively, we should be for it, even if it comes from Trump. If it affects it negatively, we should be against it, of course. But we're so caught up in our emotions, and we will reject something that is good for us just because it came from Trump. The case in point, the new children accounts. Great
example.
No Black people are talking about it, right? No Black pastors, nobody saying anything. And just I said on my show, I said, if Black women have more babies than white women, 25 years down the line, when them kids are able, we're getting ahead in generational wealth.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But here's the problem. But then you're absolutely correct. We're dealing within the Black community. Okay. There are a lot of people out here who, if Donald Trump said, breathing oxygen is wonderful, I love it, everybody should breathe oxygen, right? These are motherfuckers who would do their best to hold their breath. They turn blue in the face, and they would do everything possible to not breathe air because Donald Trump told them to.
Exactly. Look at the incident with the baby, with the aspirin and the pregnancy. You had women literally, I'm pregnant.
Right. And then your dumbass miscarries, and then you like, oh my God, I lost my baby. Like really? Again, I'll give you something happened yesterday that gave me a lot of pause. And I find it because the other thing that people love to do is they love to terminate friendships and relationships over your political beliefs. Okay.
Right.
And I had suspected that one of my coworkers, and I'm probably revealing, I don't want to reveal too much about where I work, but I work in public. I work in public transportation locally. And so this coworker of mine that I saw yesterday, I said hello to her. Right now, this is somebody who I've like we hung out, like we hung out together. We, went, we actually went out drinking, she and like my wife and I, before we got married, we went and hung out with her like about 3-4 years ago. And I had suspected, because I didn't hear from her after after 2024, sometime last year, didn't hear from her. I had suspected that she had I had suspected that she just was not talking to me because I had voted for Donald Trump. Okay. And so yesterday I see her and I say hello, and she's like, nope. I'm like, I go, wow, like, what did I do? Like, I'm saying, oh, wow, what did I do? Like, to get that kind of reaction. And she's just like, you keep keep walking, walk the other direction. I'm like, so I stand still. She's telling me to walk away from her, and she's walking away from me. And as she's walking down the platform, I see her do this. And I'm like, and there it is. There it is. I had suspected that she wasn't talking to me because I voted for Trump, and there it was. You won't tell me why. You won't talk to me because they love doing that, right? You won't talk to me. You won't communicate, but you'll insult as you're distancing it. It's what my wife calls being in it for distance and irritation. So I sat there and I watched that, and I'm like, okay, and there it is. And these and listen, we're talking about people, this one in particular. We're talking about folks I've watched walk around with masks by themselves in their vehicles. Like, you're operating your vehicle by yourself, masked up like it's still 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to call me crazy because I voted for Trump. Okay.
Right.
But anyway.
Right.
But the point is, it's like, that's what we're dealing like this is these are the type of people who we're dealing with. We're dealing with folk who, again, if Trump said, you might want to make sure you stop at a red light because it's safe, they blow a red light just to say fuck Trump. And that's not good. That's not healthy. That's not healthy behavior. No. That's oppositional defiant disorder manifesting itself in 40-something-year-old people.
Yes.
Get help.
No, and older. Wait a minute, older than that, right? So they made it. Look, I'm always critical, and I tell people, if you know me, I've always been critical of the Democratic Party because I feel if we give 90% of our vote to one party, we should get 90% of the benefits.
You would think,
right? Right?
You would think. You would think.
Right. So if I'm critical of policy, the first thing they say, well, are you MAGA? What makes me? How does that make me MAGA?
Yeah.
Because
you're not allowed to. You're not allowed. You can't. Again, these are people who are not, Mr. Jones. You have to understand, these people are not pro-black.
Exactly.
They're not pro-black. These are not people who are in it. These are not folks who are in this for the betterment of the black community. Exactly. Let us be very clear. There is no, matter of fact, I'm going to dispel something. There is no black community. There's no community. There's not. We are just as individual. We are just as much individuals as the white people that we've been, trying to chase since the civil rights movement. Okay. Exactly. Let's get that first and foremost. Secondly, when your entire existence revolves around supporting Democrats, making excuses for Democrats, calling black folk who do not conform to Democrats, Uncle Toms and Coons and all that, right? You're not being pro-black. As Sonny Johnson is the one who coined this phrase first. We'll make sure that she gets all the credit for this. These people are not pro-black. They are pro-Democrat.
Right.
They are pro-Democrat. That's it.
Right.
Being a Democrat is higher than their race. Okay? And and they conflate it all the time. So yeah, so it's just that's it. That just is what it is.
Exactly. Case in point, the Virginia governor's race, right? If we are pro-black, and I took heat on it because I questioned. I said, okay, well, here's a black woman. She's married to a black man. She has 2 black female children, right? Mm-hmm. She served in the military.
Yep.
Right. She served in the military.
Yep.
But we're going to support the white woman. And I'm not being racist. I'm just calling it what it is.
No, I know.
We're going to support the white woman. Obama, the first black president, supports the white woman. NAACP supports the white woman. Right?
Yep.
And then old fake ass D.L. Hughley is allowed to call her nappy head and all this other stuff.
Bitch ass nigga. Yeah.
But on the other end, and I said, well, how y'all supported Kamala? She was married to a white man and raised white children.
I wasn't even black. Let's be very clear. Kamala Harris is not black.
Exactly.
There ain't nothing black about Kamala Harris at all.
No.
Okay. There is nothing black about Kamala Harris. To be honest with you, it's disturbing to me that people like straight up consider like they will die on the hill of Kamala Harris being black. Let's be clear. Kamala did not claim her blackness. This woman was all Indian all the time.
Right.
She was all Indian all the time up until the first time. A lot of people don't know this. The first time that woman decided to claim any part of her blackness, because she got a Jamaican father, was when she wanted to get marijuana legislation passed. Her family disowned her over that. Her family don't fuck with over that. Okay?
Really?
Her family in Jamaica was like, what? Like really? But even worse than that, right? The only people who really rock with Kamala are gay black men. and really out there, like Gen X and older millennial black women. Those are the only ones. And I say this to my shame. I once supported Kamala Harris for president. I once did, like back in 2024. No, I'm sorry, in 2020 when I was still like deep in the Democrat muck. But then when I started to see what Kamala was really about, that's when I was like, nah, I gotta get it. Because Kamala is a drunk and she's also retarded. Kamala is a drunk and she's also retarded. And the Democrats are just pure evil at this point. Because again, getting to your point about Virginia, the fact that the NAACP, to borrow from Rush Limbaugh, the National Association for the Advancement of, well, he said liberal colored people. I'm gonna say leftist colored people, because y'all niggas couldn't even figure out that Rachel Dolezal wasn't black. These people, the fact that they sat up and went voting for the black woman,
right,
voting for the black woman who's married to a black man and with black daughters,
right,
was voting for white supremacy. You niggas deserve whatever happens to you.
And look what they did in Virginia. They raised all these taxes. They did all this stuff, and that's what they did.
Bro, they had a raft of bills ready to go. They had the stuff that these people were doing and trying to get in, were shoved through in Virginia's legislature. They had them ready to go.
Exactly.
The biggest one was that redistricting thing. 10 to 1. 10 to 1.
Right.
Think about that. 10 to 1. They're saying you cannot. They're saying we are going to basically nullify Republicans from ever being they were trying to strong arm one party rule in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yep. That's crazy.
And you voted for a CIA agent.
Exactly.
Because y'all were so, and again, that was the ultimate. That's all the proof you need right there. That's all the proof you need right there. You are not pro-black. You are pro-Democrat.
Exactly.
Democrat was able, because listen, Democrats were the ones who told black folk in the person of Joe Biden that if you got a problem deciding between me and Trump, you ain't black. Told that short nigga, Charlemagne the God, told him to his face. Are you kidding me? You had Kathy Hochul, the governor of this state, the governor of the state of New York, telling black folk. She said in a in
was about the computers. About the computers. Yeah. Yo, how do we? All right.
By the way, hold on. Before you go any further, I want you to look in the I'm sharing a picture that I took 3 weeks ago with Winsome Sears. I met that young lady, and I'm gonna have her on my show. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there you go. That's her.
Yep.
That is a wonderful woman. And I asked her, I asked her point blank, I said, how is it, how were you able to navigate any feelings of bitterness? That basically she was rejected by her own. And I said, and she said, listen, you had to realize that I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this to the glory of God. I'm serving, I'm giving honor and glory to God by my service. And I'm like,
listen, that was another thing. I felt that it was very important that she was Christian. She was solid on her Christian grounding, and when I first heard about her, I was like, wow, and like I told you from the beginning, I'm a policy person.
Exactly.
I get my emotions out of the way. I want to know, what policies do you have, right? And even in the paper, when I write about Trump's this, how does it affect Black America? Let's analyze it. How does it affect Black America, whether it's good or bad?
Exactly.
Right. And if it's good, people push back on it. I said, how do you push back on no tax on tips, no tax on overtime? How do you push back on no tax on taxes on Social Security? How do you push back on having a child Trump account that if you invest modestly monthly, your child can have over $1 million by the time they turn 21? How do you push back on those things? But we do not see past the identity politics.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is. Because Black folk because the left, okay, I want your viewers to get this. The left, when it comes to Black people, have absolutely no idea how to relate to or communicate with Black people outside of the context of criminality, poverty, or sexuality. Okay? They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to talk about us if we ain't poor, if we ain't killing each other, and if we ain't out here fucking everything that moves. Okay? That's all they know. They think about it. People don't talk about this. Kathy Hochul, okay, last year, what did she say when she was handing out them pittance checks and went into a black church?
She said, "Don't spend it on liquor.
Don't spend it on liquor."
Yo, hey, look, like, how do you not be disrespected?
Because I've said this too. Because Black folk are generationally accustomed to being called a nigger by the Democrat Party. Again, what do you think? Again, going back to Biden, when Biden told Denard McKelvey that if you have a problem choosing between me and Trump, then you ain't Black. What do you think that was? Let's put that in some antebellums. I'm a man of Maryland. You could say I'm from the South. Right. A lot of you native New Yorkers doing it piss me off. I've been up here 11 years almost. Yeah, and all of y'all say, well, yo, Maryland's the South. Like, what are you talking? The fuck is you talking about? Like, nah, the Maryland is not the South, not yet. Virginia, absolutely, but Maryland, nah, we still up here. Anyway, when Biden sat there and told Denard McKelvey that if you don't choose me, you ain't Black, what do you think that was? You better vote for me, boy.
Exactly.
You better vote for me, nigga. Like, I don't care what these Republicans say. You better get your ass in there and vote for me.
Exactly.
When Hochul said that young Black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is, she was like, my pet niggas are remedial retards. And let me tell you something. Here's the thing about Kathy. If these are remedial retards, let's be very clear. They were educated in Democrat-run schools.
Absolutely.
Democrats run the public schools in New York City. Let's be very, very clear. If niggas are remedial retards, they are being produced out of Democrat schools.
Absolutely.
So I'm not trying to hear that. But again, that's the context and Black folk again are used to being called they're used to being referred to as, again, when you've spent generations at this point being told that the white man's ice is colder, that the white man's grass is greener, that the white man's apartments are better. You don't try to build anything for yourself. Black folk these days, again, we're not even able to contemplate our own existence outside of the realm of poverty and criminality and sexuality. So why are we expecting white liberals to do anything different?
Exactly.
A good example of this, and not to go off, but a good example of this is a video you should check out. I'm gonna pass it to you. Mark Lamont Hill was on the Joe Budden podcast talking about something that is being proposed in the boroughs, where Zoran, the boy mayor, said he wants to lower the threshold for the death tax.
Yes,
$7 million to $750,000.
It's going to kill Black generational wealth.
Yes, it is, and it's intentional. It's absolutely intentional because again, you can't have if Black folk is out here again. But this is the problem. Again, they don't know how to deal with the context of poverty, criminality,
right.
sexuality. Okay.
Right.
So they're out here. So let's think of how sinister this is. You have the rich are leaving New York City in droves.
Oh, wait a minute.
The state
hold on. Before we get into New York City.
Eventually ends up at the same curbside, who will pay? New York already sits at the extreme end of the American tax spectrum. For high earners, the combined state plus city income tax reaches 14.776%. Add federal taxes and the combined marginal rate can exceed 50%, reaching roughly 55% on certain investment income. New Yorkers pay tax rates comparable to European countries that provide in return universal health care, free college education, and amazing infrastructure. New Yorkers get some 300 miles of sidewalk sheds. On business taxation, the city is also off the charts. The Citizens Budget Commission reports that New York City business activity faces the country's highest combined corporate tax rate, 17.44%, once state, city, and regional layers are stacked. Mamdani wants to hike income and corporate rates even further, or else he says he will raise property taxes by almost 10%. Property taxes already made up more than 27% of the cost of home ownership in the city as of 2022, above the national average. New York is really a prime example of a problem Democrats seem unwilling to confront. Blue cities are out of control, promising more, spending more, delivering less, and pushing off the fiscal problems to some future day.
Yeah.
It's insane,
when
bro.
you lost Fareed Zakaria, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, listen. Again, there's a couple. There are several things here that drive me insane about that. One, they're not interested. Please, let's be very clear about blue states and blue cities, about blue cities in particular. They are not interested in making anything better for anyone except themselves. The people in government, I'm talking in particular. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighborhoods within the boroughs, okay, and I'm talking about your most affluent neighborhoods: Williamsburg, Park Slope, Astoria. Well, Astoria is not as affluent. Long Island City, East Village, Upper East Side. These are people who, the ones who are there, they're still of the impression that this will not affect them. Okay. The big problem in the city, and really in the state, is that if it doesn't happen to them directly, it's not happening at all. Okay.
Right.
And they think this way about crime. I had a big blow up with a bunch of fucking gentrifiers who were offended that I would say that New York is a shithole. New York City is a shithole. I
don't even go down there anymore, bro.
I mean,
I don't even go to New York City.
The only reason I go into New York City these days is because I got to fucking work. I gotta work. I work directly in the city. So that's the only reason why I'm in there right now. Otherwise, I'd have been told New York City. I'm saying this as somebody who loves New York, as somebody who enjoys going to places in Brooklyn, where I lived for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I claimed Brooklyn as my borough. My wife grew up in the Bronx.
Right.
We don't go to the city to hang out like that, partially because it's been fucking cold out. But the fact is, New York City, if you go even in Grand Central Terminal, I'm in Grand Central Terminal every day. There are more bums and hobos in Grand Central than I've ever seen before. They just did a news story about this yesterday on the D line and on the concourse line in the Bronx. Tremont Avenue Station is filled. The roadbeds in Tremont Avenue on the Delta, on the D line, are filled with hypodermic needles.
Really?
You got bums in the subway station shooting up heroin, shooting up fentanyl, whatever, and they are doing so in full view of the public. They are doing so in the subway stations. You want even worse, go to Bowery on the J line. Bowery is full. Bowery on the J line, 2nd Avenue, on the F train, and Delancey, the next stop, Delancey Street. You're the big wide area on the Lower East Side on the LES, where you got just drug addicts all over the place. Okay? You got drug addicts and dreck all over the place in New York City. And it's by design. And then these people tell you, because they've been living in these fucking $10,000 a month apartments. Yes, they exist. You have apartments right now in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I know the building. You have apartments in Williamsburg and in Hunters Point in Queens. $12,000 a month for a 3-bedroom.
That's crazy.
And the disconnected people who move into them buildings.
Oh, they don't care.
They don't care.
No,
they don't even have to leave the building.
Exactly.
Because
they
got so much, they have so many in terms of amenities. These are people, again, they only go out when they have to.
Right.
They are not out here. They are not out here like working class or middle class people. They pay their $12,000. They enjoy their amenities in their vertical 15-minute city.
Exactly.
They don't care if they don't care if there are if subway station road beds are filled with hypodermic needles.
Right.
That they got from one of those quote unquote harm reduction centers. Harm reduction centers that because you got to do needle exchange, because now instead because we're not, because we've completely inverted care. Now it's enablement. We've taken the enablement model because getting these bums out of the subway system, getting them help, is now apparently white supremacy.
Right. Right. That's racist. How is that racist? To get these guys
to not want to live in filth. It's racist to not want to live in filth and squalor. What have we become?
Yo, it's crazy. It's just they use these labels, and then and I'm like, wait a minute, like that's not racist. That's just trying to keep the city clean, and we've gone so far left in New York, and I've been in politics, ran for city council. The Democratic Party tried to put me in jail. I know how the game is played. I've been around, bro. Whoa. So my history is fighting. I'm known for fighting for police brutality, right? A lot of these cases, and calling out the local DAs on it, and I'm in law enforcement, my wife in law enforcement. It's not about being anti-cop. As we talked before, there's some people on your job that shouldn't be on the job. Same as law enforcement. There's some people that just shouldn't be out here with a gun.
Nope.
There's some people, there are some cops that shouldn't have a gun. So, and then when it happens, because they never had no oversight, they call me. For 20 some odd years, I've been doing this stuff. So I know all the politicians. I was a representative for the Independence Party under Dr. Julio Cavallo, which I learned my politics from Dr. Cavallo. So I understood how to move and the power of being able to support each party.
Yeah.
Because the Independence Party Mount Vernon, they will support a Democrat. This other city, they'll support a Republican. Right? On the state and county level, everybody went and sat down with Cavallo because the Independence Party was what? They was the vote breakers. They gave whatever side the advantage. And this is why I get on black people. We don't think like that. We give all our votes to one party. Cavallo, Westchester Magazine named Dr. Cavallo the most powerful man in Westchester. On the cover of Westchester Magazine, you could pull it up. That's how strong he was in politics with the Independence Party, to the fact that Democrats and Republicans, they tried to take over the party. They tried to re-register and kick him out of the party. So, and the Republicans really basically got caught, and they had they went to court and they kicked off like 5,000 people off the Independence Party roll. It was a scheme. You could look that up. Yo, it was crazy. So I understood all that, right? When I ran for city council, Janet DeFiore did not want me. So there was a complaint on me, a dude named Elmo Wesley. I knew him all my life. He was living in Mount Vernon. And he was like, yo, man, let me sign. So they was like, ain't no way no person's name is Elmo, right? So they launched this whole big investigation, bro, off of Elmo Wesley. You know, and podcast wasn't really big at that time. You know, you were strong with email blasts. So we still I always had a large email, and I put a picture of Janet DeFiore with a picture of Elmo. She's wasting taxpayers' money looking for Elmo. But here's the real Elmo, and I put his Facebook page up. Here's the real Elmo Wesley. You know, so I've been through the ringer, man. I had my wife suspended by former Mayor Richard Thomas for 10 months. I had the Cupcake Cutie. The bakery was shut down by the city to retaliate against me. All that's documented, brother. All that you Google Cupcake Cutie Boutique Mount Vernon, it's gonna come up. All of his documents. So I've been through the ringer with Democrats. These are supposedly people that are for what? Justice and fairness and democracy.
They nothing but a bunch of fucking gangsters.
They all
nothing
are.
But nothing but a bunch of criminals, a bunch of business, a bunch of communist criminals, man. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
It made me stronger.
Absolutely.
It made me stronger.
And God bless you. And God bless you because of that. I'm sure, because God knows, like, Jesus, like, honestly, like, that's what really, really angers me. Whenever I listen to black folk document, when they talk about all the stuff that goes on that they don't like, you know, all the policies and everything that they don't like. Y'all live in a blue state. You live in a blue city. Y'all were born and raised in a blue city and a blue state. You don't talk to anybody who thinks differently than you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You don't communicate with anybody who thinks outside of your box and your frame. The second anybody even tries to talk to you about something different, what's the first thing to do? You out here calling people coon, Uncle Tom,
Exactly.
you don't stand with your people.
Exactly.
The way y'all act, the way some of y'all act, I don't want to stand with you niggas anyway. But that's besides the point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
We are dealing, like, y'all cannot, like, it is comical to me how black folk, and here's the thing. It's comical to me that black folk will sit up and let these people do everything. Not just that they will just sit up and let them do whatever, but the Democrats know they can do this to black folk now.
Exactly.
They know they can do this.
Exactly.
As they do it.
Exactly.
They know that all you have to do, the Democrats know that they will abuse black folk. All they got to do is just give them a mention, give them a nice show, You know, throw them some bread, throw them some bread, put on a circus, and they go vote. Now, it didn't happen this time with Zoran in New York City, because Zoran, because a lot of black folk wasn't feeling Zoran like that.
No, but 40% of the fools did.
40, but that's 40% of the ones who voted. A lot of them, a lot of black. That means 60% of the blacks who could vote either didn't vote for Zoran or didn't vote at all. Which, again, I ain't mad at. I'm not gonna fault. Like, that's one thing I'm trying to get out of the habit of. It's 40% of the black folk who voted, because let's be very clear. Zoran blew right. Remember when Cuomo, when everybody was talking about how Andrew Cuomo had that quote unquote black firewall?
Right.
Zoran blew right through that.
Yeah, he did.
Zoran won so handily in the Democrat primary. He didn't even need what was it? He didn't even need ranked choice. He didn't even need to access ranked choice voting. He won outright.
Yeah, and New York City has to get away with ranked choice voting.
Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do.
Because it hurts black people.
It does.
It hurts black people, and so they got to get away with that. And how
would you say? I'm not asking this to debate, because I do agree with you, but for the benefit of the audience, how would you say ranked choice voting hurts black folk?
Because black people, first of all, black people are not organized politically, and what was going on was, so you had the 5 choices, so they go out and say, vote. You get the choice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were campaigning. Vote for Mandami, vote for this person, vote for that person. So they were setting up who people should vote for. So it knocked Cuomo and it knocked Eric down, because they were voting for their liberal friends. See, we used to do the same trick when we would try to get maybe a black commissioner in a position, right? So we'll stack the deck with so many black ones, but there's only one that's going to say yes.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? So that's what ranked choice voting is. We're gonna tell all our liberal friends and all our Democratic vote for 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then, but Mandami is the choice, so he's always going to get the 1 on the choice, and so it puts him in the head regardless.
Ain't that something?
Regardless. You know, so when we started seeing, like, even with when Eric first won, he wasn't the popular one.
No, he was not.
But he still won, right? Because they understood it. But Eric couldn't do it. Eric wasn't even in the primary, I don't think. Right? He was he?
No.
In there?
Eric was in the primary. If I remember correctly, he was in the primary, but he dropped out when he didn't win, because he only got I think he got what, 1-2%. Yeah. Like, no, he was promptly kicked out of the Democratic Party. He was promptly.
Well, they never. I've known Eric.
Oh, you know him? Okay.
All my career when I became in law enforcement, because Eric, when I started, Eric was the vice president of the Grand Council of Guardians, which is an organization of different black law enforcement groups in New York State. Then he broke off and he started 100 blacks who care, 100 blacks in law enforcement who care. Right? He was very strong. He was very outspoken, and he was the face. He was like almost the face of black law enforcement while he was working. And his goal, one thing I give to him, his goal was, at a conference, he said, yo, man, we could take our activism and we could run for office. The community already knows us because we speak in churches, we do mentoring programs, we do all that. And he flipped it. Once he became senator, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was strong up there. Cuomo broke all that up because blacks were getting tight and they were getting strong. Cuomo broke all that up.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Senator Malcolm Smith. Dude, I watched it all, bro. Senator Malcolm Smith, he started the Independent Democratic Committee, right? And whether his personal reasons or how they did, they broke that up, right? They broke that up. Eric became mayor. But one thing I've noticed throughout, and he made a lot of mistakes, bro. He made a lot of mistakes.
He did.
And someone that personally known, a lot of his mistakes were the people that he put around him.
Oh yeah.
Was around him. But the state Democratic Party didn't want him anyway because they don't want black masculine men.
The Democrats, no.
They don't want black masculine men. And I'm not taking, and let me tell you, anybody that watch it, yo, I'm cool with a lot of Democratic male elected officials, right? I love them to death. But the reality is this: they don't want strong, black, masculine, uncompromising men. Whether we like Eric or not, he was in that mold.
He was, yeah.
He was cocky.
He was
cocky. He was too cocky for himself, but he was still in that mold.
Well, true, but again, the proof of that is what happened after he stopped being a doormat for the National Party when it came to all them illegals.
Exactly.
When it came to all them illegals, what did they want him to do? They wanted him to be a good little porch monkey and sit right there or sit right there on the porch while they kept bringing these illegals into his city.
Exactly.
And housing them in the Roosevelt and the Row on the east and the west side. And then dispersing them like fucking cancer throughout the outer boroughs. They expected there was a full expectation of on the part of the Biden administration and DHS and all these other ones. They wanted Eric to be a good old boy and be a good boy and sit down and let them put these people who were never supposed to be in the city, just let it happen.
Exactly.
I remember when, like, let me ask you this, since now that I'm thinking about it, the times when Eric went to, and I want to ask him this personally,
right? When
he went those 3 times to New York State Supreme Court to get municipal voting rights for illegals after 60 days. Whose idea was that? Was that his, or who told him to do that?
Exactly.
Who told him to do that?
Exactly.
Because I'm telling you right now, I don't think it would like looking back at everything that we know now, he couldn't possibly have been on board with that.
No.
Because remember, he was doing, like, please help me understand this, because there was a lot of contradictory shit that was going on during Eric's time in office.
Right.
Because, like, I don't even think he was really a fan of all these bike lanes either.
Right.
I don't think he was a fan of all that. But help me out with that.
Well, we know. I don't know, but I know a lot of politicians. You know, we think they're independent, but they're controlled by those who contribute to their campaign finance, right? We know this, right? And you know, and I don't play the game, right? Because I understand.
Neither do
I. And I tell everybody, before you vote for somebody, look who donates to their campaign finances.
Mm-hmm.
Look who are the people. You know, Mount Vernon is in the condition that it's in because these contractors and these builders give all this money to the mayors and the city council people. And that's why it went from the city of homes to the city of low income housing. And they wonder why they have a crime problem. They wonder why they're broke. They wonder, and they wonder why their schools is horrible, because they build all these low income housing, and instead of housing the people that are from Mount Vernon, they house people from the 5 boroughs. You know, and this is the Democratic politics in Mount Vernon. Kathy Hochul put out $240 million for low income housing for the state. Listen to what I'm saying. 1,800 units for the state. I'm going to say that one again.
1,800 units for the state.
900 of the units are being built in the 4x4 city.
The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. What?
Exactly.
So somebody getting a cut.
Yeah, but it's a business. It's
big cut of that money. They have to. Yeah, they have to. No, I'm talking some elected official has to be getting a cut of that money.
It's a big business.
And then here's the other part to that. You said that they were bringing in people from New York City, from the boroughs, right?
Exactly. You're right.
Here's what's happening right now. I'm gonna tell you exactly what that was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is how I see it. They want to warehouse illegals out here in the county. That's what that is. They want to warehouse.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because they're running out of room, bro. They're running out of room in New York. They're running out of room in the outer boroughs to warehouse these illegals.
Yeah,
like right now, bro. I'll never forget. My wife and I lived in Wakefield. My wife grew up in Wakefield, right? In right around. Grew up right off in the Reed Ave. Okay. There is them hotels that they put up, the ones that the ones that are like so blatantly not hotels.
Exactly.
Vibe Hotel. Like really, nigga, you putting a place Vibes Hotel as opposed to Vibes Cartel. You gonna put that in a Jamaican / West Indian neighborhood, which is what Wakefield is, really? Vibes Hotel. Get the fuck out of here. But anyways, this hotel is on White Plains Road, right around 240th Street. Okay, It's in between 241st and the Reed. You look at this hotel on the outside, looks like a hotel. It's about 3 levels. You think, well, hey, a hotel. Who, like, other than some lot lizards who are looking to, conduct some business along that way for truckers.
Right.
Transit worker. I'm not going to, I'm not going to, I'm just speculating. Okay. Who's really staying in a hotel like that? Okay.
Right.
I'll never forget. I walked past it one day when I was on my way to work, because I walked from where we were living to the Wakefield stop, Metro North, and I walked along there, and I walked past this hotel, and I see in the window, this picture drawn by this little boy named Enrique. And I'm like, oh, shit. I knew exactly what time it was at that point. You had signs all over the front door. You had signs that said, no rooms available. They warehousing, I'm telling you, man, they're running out of places to put these illegals. And they're keeping it, and I'm telling you, they are shuttling. I firmly believe this. They are shuttling these illegals around as much as they can, so that they'll have somebody to vote. They'll have people who will vote for them in the midterms.
Well, hey, since we're talking about,
let's do that.
I'm a supporter of the ID, right? I'm in support of the SAFE Act. And it doesn't, and the argument that they're giving is so crazy because we have to have forms of ID for everything. And
Exactly.
the fact of the matter is, only thing they're doing is reversing the process. Because before, remember, you should register to vote, and then however the system, whatever, will check if you're a citizen or not. Because you have to be a citizen to vote regardless, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just reversing the process. Bring all the forms that you're a citizen when you register.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
but hold on a second.
That's it.
How many times have you voted here in Westchester? How many times have you voted in the last?
Well, I don't vote in Westchester no more. They ain't jamming me up. I'm up in Middletown.
Okay. All right.
I moved. Listen, man. I moved because the economics, bro. Even me and my wife.
Where's Middletown at?
Orange County. I'm in a Republican county.
Okay. You know what?
I'm in a Republican county, which is totally different. You know,
Westchester, well, I mean, Westchester's a little purple. I'll be honest with you. Westchester's a little purple, and I live in New Rochelle, and I'm sorry, I am not leaving New Rochelle anytime soon. I actually love it out here. My wife loves it. I have nothing but appreciation.
No, New Rochelle is not. New Rochelle is nice, and New Rochelle has the most black businesses in Westchester.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
New Rochelle, I know the city council person. I know the mayor. I know the politics.
She's awesome. I like her too.
Yeah. No, it's, you know what? When we get away from the political party, and we just deal with the elected official, right? We could deal, logically, and we could deal, in a humane way, right? But some take it personal when you're critical. And I'm like, because I'm always critical of Tish James. I think she's the worst. And it's personal because she told me in my face she was going to do something and she didn't do it. Putting a Democratic mayor in jail, in which I know she had all the information she could because the AG before her was trying to put everybody in jail with the corruption in Mount Vernon, and nobody went to jail with her.
Yeah.
And I know some other things I ain't going to speak publicly. You made a deal, which you shouldn't have, because he hurt people. And he stole, and he took a lot of money, and he got away with it.
Ain't that something?
So I'm not a fan, but see, that's why we need balance. Republican and Democrat, we need balance, because the only way you're going to have real accountability if you have some type of balance in the parties. Now, New York is killing it.
I hear you, but now, but I'm gonna say this, okay?
Right.
And I mean this wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have balance with a communist. I'm going to say this right now, okay? And I know a lot of people within the Democrat Party. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I see the pattern.
No, dude, I'm just laughing because I know I'm gonna get like, where did you find this guy? Who is this guy?
Listen, it's amazing what happens when you network. But I'm gonna say, matter of fact, fuck this. I'm taking this off. You cannot have balance with a communist. The Democrat Party is no longer, this is not 2008. This is not the 1990s, right? This is not the Democrat Party of this is not the pre-Barack Obama Democrat Party. These motherfuckers are communist, okay? Cuomo thought that he could Cuomo, Democrat.
That's where Cuomo made a mistake. Exactly.
Every single one of these establishment Democrats, Cuomo being one, right? Mm-hmm. And I would even argue that Eric was a bit of one. right?
Right.
Eric was a boilerplate Democrat.
Right.
The regular ass Democrats thought, the establishment Dems thought they could control these fucking DSAs.
Exactly.
The DSA makes up most of the state assembly and a good bit of the state senate.
Yep.
They are almost entirely. It is one party rule by a wide margin in the boroughs. Okay. These people are already, ladies and gentlemen, these people are already talking about lowering the speed limit again in school zones to 15 miles per hour. Now, again, they just reduced the speed limit to 20 miles per hour. These people are actively trying to take your car from you. You do not make policy like this. You do not make policy like this unless you are trying to establish firm government control over your individual movement. They are trying to abolish private property as human self-estrangement.
Exactly. That's crazy.
You do not lessen the debt. You do not lessen the estate tax threshold unless you are actively trying to destroy generational wealth in the boroughs. You don't do that unless you are trying to extract wealth.
Exactly.
And the only ones who make it very clear that they are here to extract wealth, abolish private property, and do so on the backs of pitting minorities against the established order, communists.
Wow.
Who do they always go after? Communists. Who are the Democratic Socialists of America always talking about they go after? Communists.
And you know what?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. You can edit it out. The DSA are always going after Democrats.
Right.
They're always these communists are always going after Democrats. They never once, and part of this is because the Republican Party, in my opinion, are far too fucking passive with these people. The local Republican Party are way too passive when it comes to these comments. They're fine with DSA taking over everything, so with taking over the boroughs, taking over Westchester County if they could. They are fine with that happening so long as they can keep raising money off it.
Right. I don't think they will be able to take Westchester.
No, they wouldn't.
Because of the Italian and Jewish population. They're not going to be able to deal. They're not going to be able to deal with them. And this is from my experience dealing with the Independence Party and knowing literally knowing the power players behind the scene. Right.
Okay.
They will talk that. Right. Because even when George Lattimore he said, we're the most progressive. No, bro. We are not the most progressive. We are a conservative county that says we are progressive. Because that's the talk. That's the national talking point. That's the national talking point because a lot of the Republicans became Democrats because of just the numbers, because Democrats are registered 2-1. So you have more Republicans that switched over. Mayor Mike Spano was a Republican. Janet DeFiore was a Republican that switched over. Westchester County is more hand in hand with the Republican Party. They just those that are in power with the Republicans are also in power with the Democrats. Right? Because this happens. When there's a fundraiser, the husband is a Democrat, the wife is
vice versa, yeah.
Or vice versa. So they win either way. right? They raise money for both. Yo, Westchester, I don't think the DSA will be able to break, because look what happened to Jamal Bowman. They rocked him. Part of it was his fault. Well, let me tell you, a lot of it was his fault. Was his fault.
A lot?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot.
I'd say about an 85, 90% of it.
Well, we did exactly.
Are we really? Are we? Listen, don't.
That's my lie. That is my lie. That's my lie.
Yeah, that's your line. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, listen, Jamal Bowman. I have a very, very, very deep-boned hatred of that man.
I don't hate him. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed because he just didn't.
I hate him. I tell you, no, I make no. Listen, I'm not going to mince my words on this show. I don't mince my words anyway. Fuck that nigga. I don't like him. I'm gonna tell you, right. Fuck that nigga. I don't like him. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like him. He's a communist. You pulling fucking fire alarms and doing all types of buffoonery when your big black ass is up there in that Congress. You part of the squad. Everybody's looking at you like, oh, like you just gonna bring you just the broken buck that's gonna bring black folk to progressivism, huh, nigga? And how'd that work for you? They kicked your big black ass out the second you became too much of a liability. The second you started yelling at Republicans, you knew what you could do. You knew that you could. The thing about these communists, man, is that they yell at Democrats all the time. They used to yelling at white Democrats all the time, and they get exactly what the fuck they want about 100%, about 95, 100% of the time. But then this nigga decided he wanted to start yelling at Republicans. Now, the one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to yell at a Republican, okay? Because the second you, listen, I'm a conservative, okay? I spent many, many years as a Democrat, but now after, I'm home. I'm home. And we can talk about that if you want, but.
Yeah, because I'm
going to say this. Jamal Bowman got above his skis and became such a fucking liability that nigga was supposed to be. Zoran wanted him originally, was looking at tapping him to be his chancellor of school.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And then that didn't happen. So now that little commie bitch can make all the fucking TikTok videos he want promoting the revolution. Black bastard. I can't see. I can't be in the same room with Jamal Bowman, bro. I can't.
Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you how he blew it. I'm going to tell you how he blew it.
Yes, sir.
When he first won, shocked the world, right? We know what happened with that. Then when he ran for re-election, the Jewish community put up, I can't think of the guy's name, right? He's a county legislator. Jamal won that. Now, then the Jewish community, I'm going to say the Jewish community because that's what it was. They started lobbying George Lattimore, right? From what I was told, Lattimore didn't really want it. He didn't really want to run. Because of his age, right?
How old is Lattimore?
He's 70 something. 170.
Oh, shit.
He was 70.
He want to stay home, be a grandfather.
Well, he just wanted to call it quits. Right. But also, Lattimore in his whole career was undefeated. Right? So they wanted the big baller to come out. They wanted the hitman to come out. He ain't want to come out. I know there was communication with Bowman because I talked to Bowman and I said, yo, Bowman, just go sit down with these people. Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, hey. I said, dude, you got to go, because when they changed the districts, I don't care what people say. That was the benefit Lattimore. Or the benefit whoever ran against Bowman. Because remember, they cut the Bronx out. It was all this mess. And then they put the white neighborhoods, White Plains, and all them other areas. They put more white voters in District 16, right? And then they did it to Mondes Jones District too. They whitened Mondes Jones District, right? These are Democrats. Because Democrats control the districting, the state. They control that. So these are Democrats. They whitened out 16, and in the history of Westchester, we had a black man in 16 and a black man in 17. Mondes Jones and Jamal Bowman. First time in history in Westchester County, we had 2 black congressmen. Everybody was excited, but not the state, right? So I told Jamal, bro, you got to fault AOC. I said, you got to look at your landscape. Nobody likes AOC, right? She might be on the news. She might be on this and that, but people don't like her.
No.
And then I said, right. I said, and then here's another thing he didn't do. He didn't go to the Democratic city committees. He never went to one meeting.
Oh, wow. Huh.
And these are facts. I don't give a fuck. Jamal Bowman can get mad at me if I want. I'm telling all the tea. And
Tell it.
I had a relationship. And this is where
spill that tea, like the women say.
This is where, bro, and you can play this, but I had a relationship. I had a good relationship with George Lattimore. But I didn't feel the AIPAC backing. That was my thing. I was like, bro, if you didn't have AIPAC, I'd have been standing with you. But now I got to stand with Jamal Bowman, right? And then, and now that's the worst decision I ever made because I literally saw who this dude was. I'm like, dude, you're an asshole. You didn't go to none of the city. He's going to tell me on the phone, oh, I don't need the city committees. I said, nigga, what is wrong with you?
Wow. You don't need the committees.
That's what he told me on the phone. And that's when you saw every city committee endorsed George Lattimore. And then when in George,
wait a second. So he just felt like he had to make his case to nobody. Just exactly. I'm black, vote for me.
Exactly. And George Lattimore, he did what he does best. He went and he ripped him apart.
Well,
and I said, damn. I said to myself, damn, George was better than I thought.
Well,
he ripped him apart. And I had to make my amends with George. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, but me and George was cool, but I'm like, dude, I gotta support the brother because he had good intentions. He did, he went into a debate. He talking about, we gotta start a revolution. I text that Negro. I said, you just lost all your black people. This is Westchester County.
He really said that. He really said that. We gotta start a revolution. I said, Negro, they stuck that hammer and sickle up his ass. That's what that was. They stuck that hammer and sickle right up his ass, a fucking commie. Look at it.
Bro.
We gotta
you
start
go
a
on
revolution.
CNN, and then here's another thing. We was working behind the scene to get him as superintendent in Mount Vernon. Then the Negro goes on CNN and talks about Elon Musk. And then Elon Musk tweets out, I think I'm going to sue. I said, well, you done fucked that job up.
Yep.
And then he sends out a text message, oh man, I need money. Elon Musk is going to sue me. Delete. Why'd you go on CNN and say that about the world's richest man who has fuck you money? who has fuck you money in a can?
he got fuck you money sitting in his he got fuck you money in his wallet. He got fuck you money sitting in his wallet. Man worth almost $1 trillion. But again, see, communism, my friend, communism is much like alcohol. Okay? It fills people with a lot of false fucking courage.
Exactly.
Okay. Communism will have you saying the craziest shit to people and expecting you to just walk right along with them. Okay. Just go right along with it. And they figure, well, because I'm black, you black, let's go start a revolution. No, nigga, that's not how this works.
Exactly.
I'm serious.
Exactly.
And the fact that communists genuinely believe they own black people. They believe that they've done so since the 19th century. You have a guy, and I can't remember his name right at the top of my head. And God, I see it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look for it because I see it in my mind's eye. We've talked about it. We've talked about it on the show. We've discussed this. Me and my boy, what's his name? Giovanni Patterson of Metro Conservative Media down in Baltimore. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Giovanni sent me this thing. I'm actively looking for it right now. He sent me this thing from the Honest. Hold on, give me a second here. I hope you'll edit this out and post.
No, absolutely. I got it. Absolutely.
Here we go. George Fitzhugh wrote this. Hold on. I feel like I'm not going far up enough. Yeah, here we go. George Fitzhugh wrote a book called Sociology for the South, or the Failure of Free Society. Okay? George Fitzhugh, this book was written in 1854.
Wow.
Okay? 1854. This guy openly, this book is apologia for slavery. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats, hold on. Here we go. This because in page, oh, you know what? No. This isn't the right page. Bear with me a second because I'm still trying to I'm trying to find this. Hold on. George Fitzhugh, he wrote The Dissociation of Labor and Disintegration of Society. Again, this has been written in 1854. Mm-hmm. The Dissociation of Labor and Disintegration of Society, which liberty and free competition occasion, is especially injurious to the poorer class. For besides the labor necessary to support the family, the poor man is burdened with the care of finding a home and procuring employment and attending to all domestic wants and concerns. Slavery relieves our slaves of these cares altogether, and slavery is a form and the very best form of socialism. In fact, the ordinary wages of common labor are insufficient to keep up separate domestic establishments for each of the poor, and association or starvation is in many cases inevitable. This is a guy who said that the plantation was the quote beau ideal of socialism. The plantation is the beau, meaning the best form
of socialism.
The primary reason why I'm glad we're not in the Bronx anymore is because we would have been right there in the middle of it.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. They are going to enslave. They are looking to enslave New York City residents. Mm-hmm. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Zohran Mamdani right now is looking to enslave middle class and working class New Yorkers. With the city council, they're doing it. Like they're doing all of this. Okay, when you tell people, when you create laws that say, if you want to sell your house, you can't sell your house. Exactly. You can't put your house on the open market until you offer it to one of our nonprofits.
Exactly. Like nobody sees that.
Why don't you?
Exactly.
Make it more obvious. Why don't you?
Yo, that's so crazy. And
so
I'm like, y'all don't see what's going down? Y'all don't see what's going down?
So you want to steal people's houses, right? You steal people's houses, then you want to steal then you want to even further steal generational wealth, okay, by lowering the estate tax from $7 million to $750,000. That is $750,000 is a modest multi-family home in Wakefield.
Right.
It's a fucking 1-bedroom condo in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
You are not like what are you doing? These are we are talking about properties that middle class New Yorkers bought and paid for, they put blood, sweat, and tears into, and you're saying that at the end of your life, you can't pass the state. When the state is God, right, to these people, right. They're saying to you that because private property is human self-estrangement, you are a selfish person for owning private property. Sia Weaver said it, and that's
exactly
what Karl Marx said. Karl Marx
and
said that.
She said it was white supremacy.
Right. Imagine this. You about as white as this fucking napkin, telling black homeowners that you're participating in white supremacy. Where they do that at? Bitch. That girl got a fucking, that woman is the progeny of two real estate magnates. Her mama is a real estate magnate in Tennessee, living in a house that's just over $1 million.
Wow.
You know now, but you want to come here with your pasty white skin and your lack of eyebrows, and you want to tell black New Yorkers that owning a home is white supremacy. While you park your ass in a rent-stabilized apartment in a black neighborhood.
Exactly.
Bro, and these are the people Zohran brought in to rule over black people.
Wow.
Do not get this twisted, folks. Zohran, black people, dear black New Yorkers, Zohran wants to own you. His cat and all them white liberals, they want to own you. When they want to take your car from you. They want to take your car. They want to make it harder for you. They want to make it impossible for you to drive yourself to work because they want you to be subservient to the state. They don't want you to just depend upon the state. They want you obedient to the state.
Exactly.
They want to control you.
Exactly.
I want to thank again Isaiah Carter for being my guest tonight. And you could check him out on Medium, Substack, and Salon. And please visit his YouTube channel, Apostate Radio. We got to support each other. We got to keep black media alive, because that's the way people are going to understand the news and the important topics that affect Black America and Black people in New York. And don't forget, go to our website, Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com. It's the news with the Black point of view. And please leave a comment on the video, share it, and go to our website also and leave comment on the articles. We'll love to have open dialogue discussions with our readers and our viewers. As I always say, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay Blacktastic. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to The Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, powered by Black Westchester Magazine and blackwestchester.com. We appreciate you taking the time to engage with real conversations, real issues, and real perspectives that matter to Black America. Stay connected, stay informed, and as always, we'll see you next time at The Publisher's Desk. It's going to be Blacktastic. This is for you. The Political Thought Bundle includes 3 full books, all personally singling. Democrats and Republicans, The Ultimate Gangbangers, breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Coward lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. One bundle, $60. That's a $75 value, and you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed Political Thought Bundle today. It's going to be Blacktastic. For more than a century, Black America built its own economy under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In The Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965, and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two Step Publishing and Amazon. Reporting the stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our communities is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in real journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong in local news, we need your help. Your donation helps us continue covering the stories that matter: politics, education, justice, and economic empowerment right here in Westchester. Support Black media, support Black truth, support Black Westchester Magazine. Donate today and help keep Black media alive. Because Black-owned independent media is Blacktastic. Black Westchester Magazine presents People Before Politics, the Sunday Rundown, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Join Damon K. Jones, A.J. Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as they break down the biggest stories in politics, culture, and community from a Black point of view. No spin, no party loyalty, just logic, accountability, and outcomes. If it impacts Black America, we're talking about it. Tap in, subscribe, set your reminder. This Sunday at 6 p.m. is going to be Blacktastic.
This is The Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.